Hello everyone, welcome back to A Pocket and a Bow. And today I want to do something that I did many years ago and I want to show you. So before I had a sewing machine, I sewed little pants for my daughter. She was then a baby, and I did it by hand. So I want to show you how you would go ahead to sew something, whatever it is you're sewing, a shorts, a blouse, a skirt, whatever it is, by hand. And here I have two pieces for the front. These two pieces are for the back, so I have two pieces for the front and two pieces for the back, and we are going to be stitching along this part, which would be the center back. So we're stitching the center back right there, and these are the two pieces for the front, and we are going to stitch the center front. And I'm doing all of this by hand. So what I have, because I want you to be able to see the thread on the material, I'm using a white material and I'm using a red thread. And we are going to sew this shorts all by hand, so that you can also attempt something. If you don't have a sewing machine, right, you can also sew by hand. Now we're putting the two pieces together, and I'm bringing it a little closer, and I'm starting at the back. I've already put a knot on my thread, and I have also doubled the thread to make it a little thicker, because I want you to see it and to see it properly. Now what we want on the right side or on the upper side is that it is so neatly done that it looks just as if the sewing machine was doing the sewing. As you can see, I probably, maybe if I had made a line just to ensure that I'm going in a straight line, then you would be able to see it better. However, as you can see, I'm bringing it a little closer. So that's what one side looks like. And if you were sewing and this was going to be your right side, this is what it looks like. This is what the back looks like. So the stitch on the back looks a little different, because on the back it's longer than the front. But this is what I'm gonna be doing all the way through, and I'm gonna make my shorts. This is going to be, as a matter of fact, when I'm done, I am also going to put elastic in the waist. So I'm going to fold it over, and at the end I would add elastic in the waist, and I will then join the back and the front together, and you will see exactly what it looks like. Now some of these are a little longer than others, but you get the gist of what I am trying to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to finish this off, and I will come back and show it to you, and also I will sew the back together, and then you will be able to see what it looks like when I'm done. Okay, so now I want to show you what it looks like. I have joined the two pieces together, so that's the two pieces for the front and the two pieces for the back, and this is what it looks like. And I'll bring it a little closer so you can see the difference in the stitch. This longer one is the back, and this is that's the back of the stitch, or the wrong side, right? And this would be your right side. So if it is something that you are showing, then this would be your right side. In this case, it's not showing because we are going to open it this way, so you are not really seeing the stitch in this case. But if it's a case where you were doing a stitch that it would be on the right side, then this is what your right side would look like, right? This is what the wrong side looks like. Okay, so now I have, this is the front of the shorts, and this is the back. So now I'm gonna put both of them together, and I'm going to stitch them together, so that just to give you an idea that yes, you can do this all by hand. All right, so I will go ahead and stitch both sides, and I will also stitch the underneath section together. So I'll stitch under here, which is the crotch, and then I'll stitch both sides, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. Okay, so I have finished stitching. So I've stitched the crotch and I've stitched both sides, and now my shorts is almost finished. I'll just show you what it looks like on the right side and give you an idea of what the finished shorts would look like. So of course I am bending their here would be hemmed. I would hem that, or I can do a stitch, and the same here. And of course the waist. So for the waist, because I'm going to be adding elastic to the waist, then I'm going to fold it once and then fold it again to hold the elastic, and I will stitch along here, right around. Okay, and the last thing that we would want to do is, if you're using your sewing machine, you are doing a zigzag stitch on your sewing machine. You are using a zigzag stitch right around the where you have stitched, to ensure that the material is no longer fraying. So in this case, what you would do with your hand is, I didn't make a knot, so I'm just going to double stitch right here to ensure that I don't lose my thread. But I'm gonna show you how you would finish the end of the material here to stop the fraying. So what you're gonna do, you're putting the needle behind, and it looks more like a zigzag in the end, but it stops the fraying, right? It kind of looks similar to what you would do as a zigzag stitch, but that's what we would do. And to make it go faster, you know, I would just wrap it around and around and around and make one pull, and I have a couple stitches there. So that will stop the thread from fraying. But yes, that's what you can do if you have to sew by hand. You don't have to worry, oh, I don't have a sewing machine, because maybe the time will come when you might need to sew something and you really don't have, you may have a sewing machine but you have no electricity. Then at least that way you know exactly what to do. Okay, so that's what you would do for the end, and it looks similar on the other side as well. So on both sides, and I will cut the thread here and give you an idea of what I would do at the waist. And for the waist, I would fold, make one fold, and you can, if you have your iron, then you can just iron this fold in place, and then you would make your bigger fold, because you're going to run the elastic through this depending on how big that the width of the elastic, then that will depend on how big your fold is, right? So if you are doing a 1/2 inch elastic, then you make it big enough to hold the elastic. Now, if you are doing this by hand, you have to stitch from this side. The reason is, if you stitch from this side, then you are going to end up with this stitch on the right side, which you don't want. So we would put, you have the fold, but you are stitching on the right side. Okay, you're stitching on the right side here, so where you're seeing the mark, then you would go ahead and stitch along here, okay, on the right side, and it would cover for the back as well. But remember, if you are doing a stitch like this, where this is the right side, you have to ensure that this is the stitch that's on the right side and this is the one that's on the wrong side. I hope you have learned something from this video. I will finish this, and until our next video, I encourage you to learn to do some hand stitching. Persons don't do these things anymore. It's actually, you can hardly find persons who know how to sew by hand. So try practicing on doing some hand sewing today. And until our next video, bye.